Welcome to this program of Your Health. Today, we commemorate the person's case of 1929 and the indomitable women, the famous five, Alberta women who fought for women to be accepted as persons in Canada. This ruling gave Canadian women the right to the highest standard of physical and mental health. But now, our public health care is under attack by Alberta's government with the passing of Bill 11. The rights for women included in the 1929 Supreme Court decision are to live free from violence and discrimination, to be educated, to own property, and to earn an equal wage. We still have far to go. The famous five will introduce themselves shortly. They were pioneering Canadian women who fought for women's rights, most notably securing recognition for women as persons under Canadian law through the landmark Persons Case. This paved the way for women's entry into the Senate and public life. These Alberta-based activists advocated for suffrage, social welfare, and legal reforms, changing Canadian history for women and children. It was not an easy battle. The Persons Case of 1927 began when these five Alberta women, the famous five, asked the Supreme Court of Canada if the term person in the British North America Act included women, allowing them to be appointed to the Senate. In 1928, the Supreme Court said no. The women appealed to Britain's Privy Council, Canada's highest court, which in 1929 ruled that women were persons and paved the way for women to serve in the Senate and marked a significant advance for women's rights in Canada. It is commemorated annually on Persons Day. Today, we are joined by the Lethbridge Raging Grannies, who continue women's advocacy for a better Canada. They will present the play, Wasn't Mother a Person?, written by Eleanor Field of Ottawa in the 1980s or 90s for a United Church Women Convention and later published in United Church Resources magazines for general church use. The actors will introduce themselves and their characters.
I am Geraldine Dyke, and I play the part of Emily Murphy. I was born Emily Ferguson in 1868 in Crookston, Ontario, and was encouraged by my father to do all that my brothers did. Although I did not take the formal legal training given my brothers, I had a great interest in legal and political issues. I married Arthur Murray, a young clergy person, and we moved west, first to Manitoba in 1909 and then to Edmonton. I later became the first woman police magistrate in Edmonton and then magistrate of the province of Alberta.
I am Barb Phillips, playing Henrietta Muir Edwards. I was born in Montreal in 1849. There, I was one of the founders of an organization which would later become the YWCA. In 1886, I married Dr. Oliver Edwards. We settled in Fort Macleod in Alberta. Although I have no legal training, I have studied both federal and provincial law and was considered a reliable authority. I was a member of the committee that sought the vote for women in Alberta and was best known for my work in the National Council of Women.
I'm Judy Millard, and I'm playing Louise McKinney. I was born Louise Crummy at Frankville, Ontario in 1868. I was educated there and became a teacher. I married James McKinney in 1896, and we came to Western Canada to homestead in 1903. Our home was located near the town of Claresholm, south of Calgary. I was very active in the Women's Christian Temperance Union. I was elected to Alberta Legislature in 1917, one of the first of 2 women elected to the legislature in the British Empire.
I am Shirley Kirby as Nellie McClung. Emily Murphy and I were close friends. I was born Nellie Letitia Mooney in Grey County, Ontario in 1873. The family homesteaded to Manitoba in 1880. I attended normal school in Winnipeg and became a teacher. I married Wes McClung in 1896. We moved to Edmonton in 1914 and I was elected a Liberal MLA in 1921.
I'm Doreen Brazier and I play Irene Parlby. I was born in England in 1878. My father was a colonel in the army. I lived my early years in India and Ireland. While on a visit to Alberta in 1896, I married Walter Parlby. We made our home on a farm a few miles from the town of Alex in central Alberta. I was active in the women's branch of the United Farmers of Alberta and was elected to the legislature in 1921. There, I became a cabinet member without portfolio.
I'm Maria Fitzpatrick, and in this presentation, I'm the messenger.
Act 1, Scene 1, Police Magistrates Courtroom, Edmonton, 1928. Emily Murphy is seated at her desk, writing.
I am the first woman ever in the British Empire to be a judge. So why am I subjected to these insults? There, that should do it. Sir, I am informed this morning at the Women's Police Court, at the conclusion of the case of Rex versus Nora H., that you, in the presence of several, made use of the following grossly insulting words. To hell with women magistrates. This country is going to the dogs because of them. I could commit suicide before I would pass a sentence like that. Sir, unless I receive from you an unqualified apology in writing, I shall regretfully be obliged to henceforth refuse you admittance to this court in the capacity of counsel. I have the honor to be your obedient servant, Emily Murphy, Police Magistrate of the City of Edmonton. The first day that I was ever in this court, that man, Ardley Jackson, challenged me. He said since I was not a person according to the British North America Act, I was not a person in the law, and therefore could not be a judge. What ridiculous twaddle. We shall have to see about that. She who would put on the gloves must first learn to spar.
Act 1, Scene 2, Henrietta Muir Edwards is opening a letter.
Oh, I have a letter from Emily Murphy. I wonder what this could be all about. She wants me to go in with her to petition the government about whether women are persons or not. This may well go on to the Supreme Court, in my humble opinion. The government won't want to handle this one. Now let's see. Oh, she wants to know my qualifications. Well, I helped Lady Aberdeen start up the Victorian Order of Nurses and the Young Women's Christian Association, and we founded the National Council of Women. I've always been interested in the plight of women. I started a working girls association in Montreal when I was young, and we got vocational courses going for them. In 1899, I plowed through the law books, looking for anything about protection of women and children. I wrote a summary, very short, And so I've campaigned to get equal property rights for women. Surely all this will do. Yes, I shall do what I can to move this persons thing forward.
Act 1, Scene 3. Louise McKinney.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mrs. Murphy. Yes, I've heard of you. Who hasn't? I've read all of your Janie Canuck books, and we know you know how to get things done. You got the Dower Rights Bill for Women passed, and you started the Edmonton Equal Franchise League, didn't you? Yes, I thought so. I also admire your work in the Women's Court. I think your judgment rivals Solomon's. Can I help you with something? Oh, well, I can tell you that the passion of my life has been the Women's Christian Temperance Union. My husband is a prohibitionist, you might know, and I was provincial president and Dominion vice president for over 20 years, and then became vice president of the World WCTU. You, of all people, would know the misery caused by drunkenness, particularly here in the West. We were able to get strict enforcement of liquor laws for a time. Also, when I was a member of the Legislative Assembly, we were able to help the retarded, widows, and deserted wives, as well as immigrants. Now, before I stop tooting my horn, I have to tell you that I was the only woman to sign the Articles of Union of the United Church in 1925. Oh, you know that. Yes. Oh, yes, I would be honored to sign the petition for the persons legislation.
Act 1, Scene 4. Judge Murphy is seated at her desk. Nellie McClung enters.
Have I got a story for you, Emily?
Oh, yes, what is it? Do tell.
I've been talking up prohibition, my second great cause. The first was votes for women, you remember? Anyway, I was telling a class of children what happens to drunkards. I dropped a worm in a glass of water and another one in a glass of gin. Don't ask where I got the gin. The water worm was fine. The gin worm died an horrible death. Children, I said, what lesson does this teach us? One of the boys put up his hand. Please, miss, if you drink gin, you'll never get worms.
Oh, Nellie, you're one of a kind. Speaking of worms, your skit about Premier Roblin springs to mind.
Oh, that was such fun. Some of us have been petitioning the Manitoba government to get votes for women. Premier Roblin was so condescending. Don't worry your pretty heads about such things. My wife doesn't want to vote, so why should you?
I will never forget hearing about the mock parliament you put on in a theater in Winnipeg. The women sat in seats of power and men were coming hat in hand, hoping to get the vote and be able to sit in the parliament too. You were the premier, and what was it you said?
The discussion was on why men were not suitable to government. I said something like, such fine physical specimens should never stoop to the dubious exercise of politics. It all helped, you know, and 2 years later, in 1916, Manitoba was the first province in Canada to give women the vote. We felt that if all women in Canada could vote, we could change things. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world is a beautiful fiction. That hand does not rule the world, or many things would be different.
Come down to earth, Nellie. You're not addressing a meeting now. It's this persons thing I want to talk to you about. I have discovered that 5 people can petition for change, and I want you to be one of them. Did you know that according to the law, women are persons in matters of pain and penalty, but not persons in matters of rights and privileges? So only persons can be appointed to the Senate, and according to the BNA Act, that means men, not women. Did you ever? So will you help us?
I never could believe that minding one's own business was much of a virtue, but it's a fine excuse for doing nothing. This is the business of all women. Yes, I'll help, gladly.
Act 1, Scene 5. Henrietta Edwards meets Irene Parlby.
Oh, I am so glad to meet with you, Irene. I hope you're not too busy to talk with me for a moment.
Henrietta, I'm never too busy to talk to
Oh,
you.
so good. We have all been so interested in your career since you were elected to the Alberta legislature. All the good things you've had a hand in.
Well, thank you. I'm an effective goad, I think. They have had to be pushed into improving public health and education, and particularly for fair property rights for married women. I'll tell you one small thing about what public life's done for me. I've no time to worry about what to wear. My dear, I have a black hat for winter and a white one for summer.
Oh, Irene, good grief, is that all?
Well, I do wear clothes as well.
To the point, Emily Murphy is leading us in a push to have women recognized as persons so that we would be eligible to be in the Senate. We need 5 women to do it, and we now have 4. There's Emily and Louise McKinney, Nellie McClung, and myself. Would you be the 5th?
Yes, I will. I know Emily has done all the hard legal work, but if it will help, you can count on me.
Oh, wonderful.
Act 2, Scene 1. The ladies are back together and they are not happy.
Well, the Supreme Court of Canada has turned us down for good and sufficient reasons, they think. The Chief Justice is just following the general thinking that a woman's place is in the home and a man's place is everywhere else. And besides, what real woman would want to dirty her hands with politics? I can just hear them.
Me too. They want to spare us. Chivalry, you know. But chivalry is a poor substitute for justice if we cannot have both. Chivalry is something like the icing on the cake, sweet but not nourishing.
Ladies, this means one thing. We shall have to appeal it to the Privy Council in England. Is everyone agreed? Yes.
Yes, yes.
More determined than ever, we will not be defeated.
Yes.
Act 2, Scene 2, the finale.
Listen to this. The Privy Council has been meeting for 4 days at number 1 Downing Street. A Canadian press reporter says here, it's all very orderly and dignified. Everyone is very polite. Mr. Roll makes a statement or reads long excerpts from the BNA Act. Lord Merivale, ponderous and very wise-looking, asks a question, and Mr. Roll replies in many words. Deep and intricate questions of constitutional law are debated back and forth. The exact shading of meaning to be placed on certain words is argued to the finest point.
Madame Murphy, Your Honor, an urgent communication.
Well, Chief Justice Lord Sankey has given his verdict to the Privy Council. It's a great long thing, but he ends with these words. The word persons in the BNA Act includes members of both the male and female sex. Women are therefore eligible to be members of the Senate of Canada.
Wow. Yes.
The BNA Act, planted in Canada, is a living tree, capable of growth and expansion. Things can change.
Just This person's case is all part of the same slow process. The country is yours, ladies. Politics is simply public affairs. Yours and mine and everyone's. The government has enfranchised you, but it cannot emancipate you. That is done by your own processes of thought.